right, guys, we are going to look at day 2 of solving equations. These equations are equations of fractions. So we looked at the other day two-step equations, multi-step equations, equations with variables on both sides. Now we will look at equations where there's fractions. So if you remember, equations of fractions look something like this. Now there were 4 steps to solving these last year that we learned. Step 1 was to find the least common multiple. And remember, you do that in the calculator, and I'll show you how to do that when we do an example. Step 2 was you multiply. Again, just write these down, and it'll all come back to you when we do an example together. 3, we cross out. And 4, solve. Again, when we do an example, this will make more sense and it'll all come back to you. But make sure you type these on the line. Find the LCM, multiply, cross out, and solve. All right, so let's solve each of the following equations for x. Now we want to find the LCM between our denominators, so 2, 3, and 4. So if you remember, I go to my calculator, I go to menu, number, least common multiple. That's what LCM stands for, least common multiple. So we do our first 2 denominators first. We do 2, 3. Remember, it won't let us do 3 numbers together. 6. Now you take your number that you just got and keep going until you've gone through all the denominators. So now I'll take 6, 4. 12. So the smallest number that 2, 3, and 6 all go into is 12. So my LCM is 12. Okay, now I multiply each of the fractions by what it will take to get me to 12 in the denominator. So 6 times 2 is 12. So I'm going to multiply tops and bottoms by 6. 3 times 4 is 12. So I'm going to multiply tops and bottom by 4 for that fraction. And now 3 times 4 is 12. So I'm going to multiply tops and bottoms by 3. So step 1, find your LCM. We did. Step 2, multiply. So let's multiply everything out now. 6 times x is 6x over 12. Plus 2 times 4 is 8 over 12. 3 times 3 is 9 all over 12. Now that it's all 12, this is my favorite part, we cross them out. And now we are left with 6x plus 8 equals 9. And this is really easy. This is just a 2-step equation. So now we solve. So to get rid of a positive 8, you subtract 8. So now we get 6x equals 1. Again, if you like to do the line, you can most certainly do that. Divide by 6, divide by 6, and let's leave it as a fraction, 1/6. And I can't remember here if I had you guys, oh, I do. I have you type the answer in. So when you type the answer in, you can type 1 divided by 6, 1/6. Okay? So 1/6 is my answer. And that's all you do. try another example together. Remember, if the number doesn't have a denominator, we put it over 1. We give it a leg to stand on. So step 1, we need to find our LCM. So luckily, it's only 2, a 5 and a 1, 2 denominators. So I go to my calculator and I hit menu, number, least common multiple between 5 and 1. And that's 5. Okay, so 5 times what gives me 5? 1. Now remember I said you can either multiply by 1, or if it's already the LCM, you can just leave it. 1 times 5 gives me 5. Now I have to do all my multiplication. I get x minus 3 over 5 equals 2 times 5, which is 10, over 5. Gone. Done. Cross it out, and now you solve. This is a really easy one. This is easier than number 1. You're left with just what's on top, and now go ahead and solve. Add 3, add 3, x is 13. That is it. That's all you do, my friends. So again, in the boxes at the bottom, you're going to write 1-6 and 13. Let's do 2 more examples together, these. Oh, these look like a little bit trickier. Okay. So start by giving everything a leg to stand on. Okay. So that we can find the LCM. So let's start by doing our first 2 denominators. I have 9 and a 1. So I'm going to go to my calculator. You can either do menu, number, least common multiple, 9, 1, which is 9. Now we take our next denominator and our answer, which is 3, and our answer of 9. If you want, you can literally just type in LCM, 9 and 3, to save you some time, or you can do the menu trick. Now we have one more denominator to do. So we did 9, 1, 3. Now we have another 1. So let's find the LCM between 9 and 1. 9. So our LCM, our final LCM is 9. So let's go ahead and do all of our multiplication. Well, this guy already has a 9 as a denominator, so I'm going to leave it. Here, 1 times 9 gives me 9, so tops and bottom by 9. Here, 3 times 3 gives me 9, so tops and bottoms by 3. Okay, and then 1 times 9 gives me 9. So now I have to go ahead and do all my multiplication. So I have 4x over 9 minus, okay, 9 times 4 is 36 over 9 times 1, which is 9, equals 3 times x, which is 3x, over 9, plus 5 times 9, which is 45, over 9. All right, my favorite part. Cross it out. Now you have 4x minus 36 equals 3x plus 45. And now it's just the older problem that we did. You solve. So I'm going to bring my 3x over. Again, there's not one way to do this, but this is the way I want to do it. So minus 3x, because it's a positive 3x. Opposite of add is subtract. Minus 3x to this side. So 4x minus 3x just gives me an x. Or you can write 1x, same thing. Now add 36. And you get x equals 81. So that one was a little bit harder because we had to find LCMs for multiple fractions, right? But same process, just takes us a little bit longer. So make sure in your box you type x equals 81. So all the way down there, you want to put an 81 in. All right, and last one. Same thing, we got to find our LCM. So I'm going to go right to my calculator and start with 2 and 5. So LCM of 2 and 5, ooh, is 10, okay. So now you take 10 and 10 and find their LCM. The answer with the last denominator is 10. Okay, so my LCM is 10. So I multiply by 5. Now everything in the denominator and the numerator gets multiplied by 5 in the first fraction. Okay, 5 times 2 is 10. So everything on top and everything in the bottom. And 10 is already 10, so I'm going to leave it. Now let's do all of our multiplication. Now the tricky thing here is that everything is multiplied by 5. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10, all over 10. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6, all over 10, equals 45 over 10. All right, they're all 10s. Cross them off. You're left with 5x minus 10 plus 2x plus 6 is 45. And let's go ahead and solve. I'm going to combine my like terms. So 5x plus 2x gives me a 7x. Negative 10 plus 6 is a minus 4. Again, if you don't know those, no big deal. Just use your calculator. Now this is an easy two-step equation that we can solve. All right, so add 4 to both sides. 7x equals 49. Divided by 7, and x equals 7. Make sure you type that in to your box at the bottom. Now I know I went kind of quickly through the actual solving part. I think the hardest part at this point for you guys should be just getting the LCM and multiplying, but then when it comes to solving, they become simple equations that we should have down at this point. All right, make sure you fill in your notes, and I will be checking your notebook to see that you did. You should have all your X's filled in on the bottom. You should also have the steps filled in right here at the top. All right, bring any questions you have to class. I will see you guys soon.